fellas, say, you ever wake up one day and realize, man, I really need to get into a franchise, and then do so by playing the worst game in that franchise? Yeah! Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 3DS, also known as Really Nintendo, nothing better, is the third and a half Super Smash Bros. Game. Now you see, for a good few years at this point, people have been wanting me to play Smash Bros. And considering I'm the guy that sits down and plays Muppet Movie Adventures for a living, I don't know why, but nevertheless, I gave it a shot. And yet that's not my point. My point is how I chose to play it. You see, in an age where Super Smash Bros. Ultimate existed, I decided to play the 3DS version as an introduction to the franchise. And to be fair, there's not much I regret. I mean, for crying out loud, this thing has Street Pass. But this was all years ago. Since then, my taste in games has vastly improved. However, I figured I'd take a look back at this game and see if it's actually any good. Alright, well here's the Cheez-It. Let's stick it into the 3DS and only have 2 regrets. Like I said, only 2. Now you see, I don't think that was too fair of a judgment. Instead, I think we should dig our hands deep. The content, the controls, forget all of that. I can kill Mario with my own Mii. This game is perfect. The game comes with 2 modes, Smash and Smash Run. Smash being the typical game mode that comes with every game where you pit yourself against the CPU, and Smash Run being a newcomer exclusive to the 3DS version. But what does it do though? I'm just here to see Mega Man blast Pac-Man. Speaking of, let's do just that. Strategy. It's overrated. I just smash buttons. First impressions? Not too bad. They managed to make a pretty decent game and compress it into the size of a Cheez-It. The gameplay is a bit faster than Brawls, but slower than Melee's, so it's competitive enough for people who are, well, just that, but it's not alienating to newcomers. In my opinion, it feels exactly like a Smash Bros. Game should, and I really didn't expect that. I mean, once again, a Cheez-It. I feel like people judge this very unfairly because they compare it to the Wii U counterpart, completely forgetting that that's played on a TV, whereas this is played on a screen smaller than a sticky note. I have to give them credit. Smash Bros. Works really well for the 3DS, even if the 3DS doesn't work really well for Smash Bros. Also, dear god, the circle pad. Now for the character roster. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. The newcomers like Little Mac and Villager, they're so good, and they honestly make the older characters feel kinda underpowered. In fact, my only gripe is that it took this long for Duck Hunt to get in here. Perhaps the best addition though is Pac-Man. He is perfect, and his moveset? I mean, you have a fire hydrant, you can't have a Pac-Man moveset without the fire hydrant. In the Wii U version, there were several character transformations mid-battle, namely Samus to Zero Suit Samus. However, since the 3DS version struggles to handle this, these have been made their separate characters. Now you see, there's no issue with that, but there were some characters like Pokemon Trainer that got completely cut. Not that I'm complaining, after all, we still have Charizard. Now, while I absolutely love the character roster, it does sure have a major case of the what the hells. Like, you bring Dr. Mario back as a veteran from Melee, but you completely ignore Mewtwo. Is there any logic behind this? Also, how do the Ice Climbers not work for the 3DS, and yet they're fine for the Wii U? There were some other characters lacking from the game, namely Snake and Lucas, but I think what people don't understand is that other characters, like let's say Dark Pit or Dr. Mario, weren't chosen over these, but rather because they're much easier to develop since they're just reskins of older characters. And you can tell they're in a league of their own because, oh my god, my eyes! There is so much wrong with this menu! Like, why is the challenges button the only one with a thin outline? The smash button just looks out of place there, and games and more can literally classify the entire menu. Also, there's so much wrong with the character select screen. Why are the 3 reskins not in their own respective areas with the other characters? Why is Pac-Man separated from the other 2 third-party characters? Let's talk about stages. The game has a decently small amount of stages, with a heavier focus on handheld representation. But this does not detract from the experience. There are some excellent stages, Pac-Maze, Picto-Chat, with some returning favourites like Yoshi's Island. There are some stages from previous games included to make up for franchises that lack a new stage in this game, but with the 3DS's lesser capabilities enemies, it's perfectly fine. But who came up with stage bosses? Some stages like Wily Castle are completely ruined because some guy got high and decided that stage bosses were necessary from the same company that brought you the Virtual Boy. You gotta keep that standard. Though some stage bosses are completely manageable and actually add some fun to the match like Ridley, there are others like the Yellow Devil that just don't even deserve to exist. Items, on the other hand, are pretty good, albeit overpowered. Some new additions like the Special Flag and the Beetle can be kinda lazy at times, but overall, pretty good additions. So overall, stages get an out of 10. Well, that's about all you're gonna get from the main Smash mode, but we completely forgot about Smash Run. Gotta be honest, it's a really fun mode, though with a few flaws. The mode consists of you traveling around a pretty big map alongside another 3 players, collecting items and resources so you can face against one final boss. The boss can range across many things, from a race to a battle to a jumping contest, anything. The issue is that there's no online play, nor can you interact with the other 3 players. This makes it feel very restrictive in terms of, well, interaction. Also, you can't customize anything, what the boss will be, the timer. It's so restrictive. Overall, it's fun to do here and there, but if expanded upon just a very tiny bit, it could be a really good mode. Moving on to Street Smash. Okay. Heading into games and more now, this is pretty empty. Classic mode now features a choice-based map, and to be honest, I have nothing against this. It's perfect for a handheld and still retains the charm of classic mode from the other games. All-Star mode returns, but even at the hardest difficulty, this thing is really easy. Doing this mode is just up smash constantly and somehow I still end up winning. Oh, and they also brought Stadium back, but I honestly hated that thing from the very beginning anyways. Okay, maybe that was a bit too harsh, but to be honest, this thing ain't good. Multi-man smash and home run contests are back, along with Target Blast. But this time the bomb gets bigger in every stage. Damn, I need a 3DS! And that's about it for the extra content, and the game itself. Overall, it's a pretty fun game, but for every great thing about it, there's a glaring minor flaw, and that's the biggest flaw in the game itself. Most of the modes are great, but the way you maneuver it is terrible. Smash Run is really good, but it lacks what would have made it great. Now you see, I could go on for hours and hours about